Mike here, Money Marriage Media. Welcome back, guys. Today, high level conversations. We're looking at Lucky Marie's channel, right? Now, interesting conversation she was having. This is an older one of her live shows, one of her live streams. Finding love as a mother, regaining confidence. And the guest is B. Taylor, and I think she's going to pull up some other people as well. But this is again. I think this has potential to be a high level conversation. I haven't watched this. I literally just picked a spot in the stream and just said, click here, and then we're gonna go. But the the major YouTube talking point is leave single mothers alone, right? I get it. Um, Most popular noted by Kevin Samuels, right? High value man conversation. But again, we're talking about average people on this side of the camera. So for average people, being a single mom is not a death sentence. What that does mean is that if you are a single mom, then you need to bring a lot more to the relationship, because yeah, it is you already having a child is not a positive for a man who's looking for marriage. It is a negative, but it's not like it's a death sentence though. It doesn't mean it can't be overcome. You just have to be willing to put in the work with men who are okay with who I would say is like when you find a man who is going to be okay with you already having a child. They do exist out there, despite what the YouTube talking points tell you. We know that because, again, when you're out in the everyday life, it, let's just go ahead because we're going to end up getting off topic. And I started on a whole diatribe, and that might not be what we're talking about, which really means I'm just wasting time, right? So let's get this set up here, and so
I should see them before they even turn red, and cut people off. And, you know, being content with being single, because if I'm not content being single, then I'm more inclined to make mistakes and overlook red flags because I just want somebody there. So I'm okay if I quote unquote die alone. I rather that than not have peace. I think peace is so important. I'll never feel like I would die alone. I have too much love and family around me.
But even still, like, and I'm gonna come to you, Scam. Uh, Even still, that's why does that have to be the outcome? Because if we can accept a lot of shit, if we are in a society where we can accept that, like I was saying on TJ's channel, shout out to TJ earlier, that if we can accept that being a woman today is
Mosaic TJ, is that what you talking about? I'm pretty sure it is, and I'll insert a card here because I reviewed some of her content too. So yeah,
subjective in society,
Mhm.
you better be thankful all you get is a child. Okay, with all this stuff going on,
Okay.
and to make it look to kids don't know if the parents are married or not, right? But I'm not gonna say I'm against it, but people have their separate beliefs. People do all that. I think the thing that I feel like we should attack though is the irresponsibility of our womb.
Mhm.
We have
Mhm.
to understand, like, as far as the love and all that type of stuff, yeah, it sounds nice, but yeah, we don't really know what that look like. So that's because we shouldn't even be dating for that in the first place, because
Yeah.
that is like a this thing. That's a this thing. But one thing that should be consistent is the things that the foundational part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long as, like, we as women sometimes we're dating on that roller coaster type of thing, where we're ignoring the foundational part. We're sitting up here saying, okay, yeah, those things will help him get it together because we on the roll. Like you just said, Six Flags, you on the
Yeah.
roll. So
Yeah.
now it's like when you start to date again, you realize, okay, I don't like the outcomes of this.
Mhm.
So based on my mistake, like this girl should have been at, I'm not calling her kids a mistake, but the mistake is the fact that you landed yourself single, doing it by yourself, or more so, you're more of the primary parent. Let me just say it that
Yeah.
way. You're
Mhm.
more of the primary parent with primary responsibilities, all those things.
is Lucky holding women accountable? It sounds like it. Again, I love a conversation. I mean, let's keep it going. This is actually pretty interesting. I want to see where she goes with this because well, let's just go.
So now that we're here, it should not be a situation where now I am now a example. It's not just about me. the mistake happened when you date again on the roller coaster. Like, why the fuck are you on a roller coaster with a kid?
Yeah.
No, like you're not supposed to be on a roller coaster with a kid. But then it's like that's that learning part of you, that searching part of you while you're making kids because you're searching through your body. And I think that's the part that I feel like we don't talk about. It just gets dismissed when we want to catch the little girl's mindset prior to boys catching her. Even in school, because like you said earlier, we're told don't date boys, just ignore them, all that type of stuff. Meanwhile, she got a hot pocket too. She getting peer pressure. She wants to have a. How do you expect her to get a prom date? Certain things she got to understand how to like boys and do all this. And yeah, it's a whole culture.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're on the precipice of something of a high level conversation. She was definitely holding women accountable. The whole, you know, when we started as parents, when we started addressing the different ways or the different challenges with coming with raising, the next generation. We need more conversations about that because again, these YouTube talking points sound great, until you start talking about raising the next generation of kids. Because again, we know that. Okay, look, I'm starting to repeat myself about the marriage is the best way to raise kids, and we don't have any alternatives as far as I know. But let's let the conversation go a little bit more and see what we get here.
Yeah.
What's up, Scam?
Hey.
This dude, I've seen him before. I don't think he has a channel, but I've seen him appear on other panels. It, Dusto, if you see this, it's nothing personal, but a lot of times I see you on these panels, it's hit or miss with you. Sometimes you say some profound stuff, other times it seems like you just flat out trolling. So let's go.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can
Yeah.
hear
Oh,
you.
okay, cool. Just a couple questions. I'll try to keep it quick and mild trolling, nothing heavy.
Don't
See
troll.
what I'm talking about?
No, I'm clowning. Prior to y'all having kids and then after children, of course, dating is different. Let's be real. Have you ever been out there and you meet this dude? He's almost as good looking as me. Comes up and approaches, starts talking, exchanging numbers. Got glow in the dark abs and everything, and you're thinking, "Oh man, I got me one." Then you tell him, "Yeah, I gotta go pick up my son," and then his face just drops. Just yeah, kids. Has that ever happened? And then how do y'all take it if it
Uh,
has happened?
that
That's a
hasn't
great
happened to
question.
me.
That hasn't happened to me either.
Never.
No, but I'm not gonna say that's not what happened in their stomach. Possibly, I'm not dismissing, because that is something that it's still something. Even if a man is okay with considering, it's still something he has to consider. You know what I'm saying? So it just comes down to, does a person want to consider that? Is that a big deal to that person, or do they love kids? So that I think that's the part that happens. It does slim it down depending on the dating pool you're in. I would say. What would you say? Do you find a lot of women that you find attractive that has kids?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Um, most of them got kids.
Hmm.
Um, I gotta say it. Of course, I'd rather have one that doesn't. I don't have any kids. But then it's the whole conversation. It's just less appealing. Like, am I motivated to get up and drive 30 minutes to see a woman who I know has kids? Not as much. And then it's the conversation with the kids because I got to ask all these questions. Like, were you married? Why weren't you married? Why'd you have a kid when you weren't married? If you were married, did you fight for your marriage? How old is the kid? What do you think about parenthood? How come you haven't asked me, or if we talked 4 or 5 times, how come you never brought up or asked me certain questions about the kid?
Hmm.
How do you feel about education? How do you feel about discipline? Where's the father? How do you feel about your brother and your father? What do you know
That's
about?
still
Huh?
I would say
Those are definitely questions that come up, especially when you're dating somebody who has a child. And I would say women need to be asking those questions too. If you had a man, if you well, with men it's a little bit different, but you still should ask specific questions about that man. If he has children, you need to know that stuff in advance before you start taking things to the next level.
that why don't you get to know the mother first to see if you even like her before you start bringing up her children though and being a stepfather and your role in that, because maybe she doesn't Maybe she's just trying to build a connection with you first. And then once you guys even see if you guys are compatible, then let's get into the talk of if you even want to be a part of this life.
Well,
Because
That can be problematic, because for a lot of men, it could be because again, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless, right? Average man, 3 out of 4, and we usually work with that. But again, the 3 out of 4 could be different for every guy. And some men, that children part, the childless part, is a deal breaker. So that's why a lot of guys are going to ask those type of questions up front. They're not going to be as concerned. They want to know that stuff because again, most women do the same thing. Hi, nice to meet you. What do you do for a living? Why do you think they ask you that, fellas? Gentlemen, I mean, it's again, women tend to try and find ways to disqualify you. Men try and find ways to qualify you. That's why men ask those questions up front, because he's trying to qualify you. He's trying to determine whether or not, okay, is this going to be worth it? That because in a lot of times with kids, it brings up a lot of questions. Just like he said, it leads to, you can go down a rabbit hole with all that stuff. And then if a lot of the questions that he's asking can be deal breakers. So before you get invested with the mom, no, you gotta know the deal breakers.
that's
most
a
of
lot of
it,
pressure on a man, like, you know.
no, it's most of it is their conversation coming to me of why I don't want to date them. It's only
Mhm.
been one that I dated that was a single parent that I actually was like really, really pursuing. And initially, I wasn't pursuing her. I wasn't that interested. We were just kind of dating. But she was such a great person that I was more willing to take it on. And she had 2 kids.
Prime example of what I've been talking about this whole time. Being a single mom is not a death sentence. It just makes things harder. Unfortunately, that's the truth with it. I know you can get on these YouTube talking points and it's no, you can't die alone. That's not reality. But again, well, look, let's keep going because this conversation is getting there. So I'm actually here for it.
Mhm.
But she was an awesome person.
Mhm.
But not all the other 99% in their conversation talking about their child or their actual life.
It is TJ. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll do the card. You guys will see it.
Somehow they make it not appealing and
What was
unmotivated.
it that made it not appealing about her? Because you said she kept asking you why. As soon as you would have told me, I would have, no matter how
No,
much our relationship, kid can't go nowhere. We gotta go.
I'm talking about just different women in their conversations about the kid. It's either complaining about the dad all the time,
Mm,
bashing, or he was great but they screwed
Okay.
it the hell up,
mm.
or them asking for so much more, as if you can just go out here, pop a kid out, just come bring it to another man and say, "Hey, here you go, take care of it." Like that type of
Really?
mindset.
You
Like, all
had
right,
that experience? You had
huh?
that's been your entire dating
No,
experience
but
with
that's
single
really
mothers?
how it goes.
But
Cause
I'm just asking, like,
I'm
if that's
saying
been your entire experience where women are like, seem like they're just single mothers are unhealed, they're mad about being single mothers, or
Exactly what is she asking him? Because he said that it's a multitude of women. He didn't say that it was every woman. So where is she going with this?
they're mad at the baby's father, or they're
mm,
um,
complaining.
just being honest, one single parent. Actually, there was a second one, but her daughter was grown. Daughter was already like 18, 19.
oh,
But all the ones that had like children, there was something like direct that was like, I don't buy into this situation, not even close. And this is like a repeated thing over years. But it was just one superwoman, and I probably should have married that person. But I plead guilty.
yeah, I think you just set a point because it's the responsibility on if you have the kid with you, it is more so about the well being of the child, and that's a whole mindset in itself. Because even if you don't want to get attached to the child, and then she start acting crazy, and you develop a bond where you care, but then it's
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the biggest downsides of dating a single parent is that if you get attached to the child, it's not your child. You have no rights. When the relationship's over, you're done. I don't care how long y'all been together, especially if you're not married. In some cases, I mean, I have to look this up because if you let's say you marry a single mom, I think that I want to say that in a divorce, the child you have no legal rights to the child. They automatically go with the biological parent in those cases. It doesn't matter how long y'all been together. I think the only I'm just talking off my head. I haven't researched this, but I think the only exception might be if you legally adopt a child, then there would be shared custody. But that's yeah, that is one of the downsides. But like I said, it's all relationships are about balance. If you got a kid or you got multiple kids, okay, you still got five other categories that you can excel in and balance the scales out, balance the relationship.
Still up to her when she wants to then break this particular family up now. You know what I'm saying? Then the traumatic experience that could have on the child to feel like their mother took yet again a father figure. You know, that's how they see it. Even if that's not how it would happen, even if the relationship just whatever, you still have a duty to get rid of whatever that is personally, like feelings you have about it. You still have a duty to your child to make sure that you do what it takes for the best outcome, because when you're dating again, you're dating for two, and their needs come before yours, unfortunately. And I think the negative part that comes about it is where it's like it makes it seem like because you got a kid, like you need me in this aspect, because without me you can't eat, without me you just on the welfare, without me you the, you know, it's that vision when you hear a single mother is barefoot and pregnant, right? The
Are
unfortunate,
dudes really pitching it like that?
or you hear a logic, cream pies.
Oatmeal pies.
Oh, that's what it is. Sorry, oatmeal pies. I said cream pies.
Oh,
Oatmeal pies. You know, it's just a
Okay.
negative view on it. And but if we look at society, like y'all love baby mamas. As soon as I came in this space, I was like, "You different? How am I different? I got a kid. It come with me.
Yeah.
She come with me."
well, there's how can I say it? Let's be real. Um, I hate how I always having to do this. Most of the women are fat just to start, and people don't want that. Then most of the women are mean. Then most of them are masculine. So then there's what's left that's actually dateable and appealing to the eye. And it's cute women, and most of them have kids, especially men who only want to date black women.
What's the
Um,
age range? Would you say, Scam? Because you said
for
most of
me,
the kids. What age range are you looking at? Because I think that matters too. What do you say?
well, I'm
Like,
This
42,
is
so younger,
interesting.
preferably younger than me. But I'm not like robotic like the other dude. She has to be 5'7", 126.3 pounds. I'm not a robot. Whatever she can do to make it appealing, and what you lack in one area can be covered up in another, as long
Thank
as it
you.
works. I prefer a
Thank
woman
you.
younger than me. I prefer a woman without kids. Fitness, I don't negotiate. Maybe when I got about 5 more years, then I'm gonna be ugly. But right now, I'm still good looking, so I can't negotiate with the fitness thing.
Just though, can I ask
Huh?
you a question? So
Mm-hmm.
for like a woman like me, because I have
Mm-hmm.
two, I have two.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be if women that's like me, what would be our best chance if we get in the gym, get in shape, you know, be a good woman, know when to be submissive?
This is a great question because she's asking for the single mothers out there. Because again, if you watch these YouTube channels, well, you just had a kid. No, you're automatically dying alone, and we know that's not the case. That's not reality. But we need more conversations like this because again, what's the goal here? Marriage. So how are we going to make this work? That's what we need to be figuring out. It's a great question. High level conversation. Let's go.
And soft or whatever, and we don't bring drama, we don't bring chaos. And so I am 30. um,
You shouldn't have problems
so if I
because
want to date a man I think that if like, me going back on the market, I wouldn't date a guy around my age. I would date like 40, I would date a man like much older at this
do you
point.
go to the gym?
I don't, I'm pretty small just because genetically, but I don't work out as much as I probably should, but I need to
like
work.
once a week.
Yeah, like at home workouts and stuff like that. But I do want to hit the gym
Those
harder
count
to.
because he right. They're not even doing that.
No, I'm saying, um, if you want to find a man, they're in the gym, and there's no women in there. If you want a black man, go in there. There's no black women in there.
There's no black men in there either. I be in there. I don't see them.
Every place I lived, there was men and no women,
Mhm.
like 5 to 1 if you're talking about black.
Like
Mhm.
older. Where would be a place like
All
older?
ages,
Huh?
all ages. Black women aren't in the gym; they're at the buffet. Free men. If you go
No,
to the
that's
gym, talk to a few of them. Hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me
Oh my
lift this?
God.
we're at
You'll be
happy
married. In,
hour, by the
you'll
way.
be
We're
married
at
in a year.
brunches, by the way. We're not at the buffet. We're enjoying our
Yeah,
lives.
exactly.
I'm just saying that's where they are. 5 to 7 p.m. You can see them with a shirt and tie, look in their car when they're getting out. You can see if you got a job or not. As Carl tell
Facts. That's true. It's he's breaking it down. Oh man. Okay. All right. Okay, Dusto. He
you
coming. He
everything,
bringing the heat.
look on the inside.
So what would you before you get out of here? And I'm gonna bring you up, Ronan. And I see you in the background. See my camera. What would you say like when you have women who are dating? Do you think that they shouldn't be on the dating market, or do you think that there should be two different dating markets? Like the conversation should be for the people that want kids to talk to people with kids, and the people who don't want kids to kind of be in their own little thing. Like, or do you think it's okay to kind of mix it, like a woman with multiple kids? Like this girl had 3 kids. If she get with another man that doesn't have kids, do you feel like she's pissing in the dating pool, like they like to say, or do you think that, like, what are your overall thoughts about single mothers dating with multiple kids?
Okay. First of all, single mother with you. I'm a stronger believer. I grew up with both parents. I wouldn't be the person I am without my dad. Like straight up, straight up, straight up. A lot of my cousins, big family, wouldn't be who they are. It's almost like you can look at the ones who had the father and ones who didn't, and it's a total like black and white.
Yeah.
So it's a need for the children. And if the children come first, find the father. For yourself, for your own emotional stability and everything, get a man. You might just can't get, I mean, the best, but get the best man that you can get.
What's that? What is that? The best? What does that mean? Because we're saying don't get toxic men. So for me, when people say you're not gonna get the best, that what does that mean? Like you're not gonna get a good man or semi good man? Like what is that? What does that mean?
Okay.
Great question for clarification because again, this is YouTube talking points. This is the whole point. We need to start demystifying these. I think I might have to do a video about overused phrases and unclear terms because there's a lot of this stuff out there. You keep seeing people talk about this stuff, but then they never go into detail or break it down. So you kind of just like everybody's got their own definition. We got to get some clarity here because otherwise it's just you don't get it. That's how you get into high level conversations when you start breaking that stuff down. It's also a good way to hold people accountable because there's a lot of this stuff on YouTube where people just start talking and just throw out random phrases and stuff, and then it's like, can you break that down further? And they can't, which means you didn't understand the concept to begin with. You were just talking and wasting people's time. We got to stop having those conversations and start breaking this down. So the great question from B. Taylor.
If you look at the women and what there's to choose from as far as competition, it's not that hard to beat them up and pick and choose. It's just not. They're 300 pounds. They're bigger than we are. They're meaner and more masculine than we are. You can beat them out and get a decent man. And they're in the gym. That's what they are. It's not difficult. Men are on sale right now because of what there is to choose from. And most men.
Okay, so he's going in a different direction of what I would have. I would say is that you find a man who's leading with the dime. Discipline, integrity, morals, and ethics. Right. A lot of times, again, another popular YouTube talking point is that men are judged based on how much money they make. So a lot of times when they talk when you see these relationship channels and they talking about you can't get a good man, a lot of times they're referring to high value men. But again, that no that percentage of men is so ridiculously low that you can go a whole lifetime. You go your whole life and never meet these guys. So we got to start having realistic conversations here. So yeah, I would say look for men with those four characteristics. They may not be and you may not find a man who has all four and is hot is well developed in all four. But again, there has to be some kind of balance there. So that's what I would say.
Men are even opting out, just saying, you know what, just no, just forget it. No. Be nice to them. That men ain't even asking for the same things. Just listen and be nice. They'll even take the kids. Uh, I don't know. But the other thing about different date market, that depends on the person. If you date a man with no kids, there's a learning curve.
Right.
There's a whole full conversation that need to be had because
I
they
think at
can't
this
just
point, I
walk in
wouldn't
and be
want to
sitting
date a
there.
man with no kids just because I have two, and I don't think that's fair. Personally, I don't think it's fair. If he wants to be, if he's an older man who's like, I don't want kids because I'm older, but I don't mind taking on like, then that's a discussion. But if you're like somebody who's like, no, I want a big old family, I want to have a whole bunch of kids. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, is it about what you want or is it partial? Is more, I think 2/3 of it has to do with what he wants versus what you want.
Yeah, that's
As
true.
well
I
as
think
give
I'm
a
more
man a chance who
sympathetic
didn't have any. Oh, go ahead.
who don't have any experience in fatherhood, and
They'll, they can figure it out. Trust me.
because sometimes they'll treat your kids like, I've seen situations where women will get with men who don't have any kids and they love the woman's kids until they have their own kids and they realize the love is different, and then they start treating the other kids a little differently. I've heard of that happening.
Mhm.
I don't. If it's a decent dude, he's gonna do decent stuff. If he's a ragtag, he's gonna do ragtag stuff.
Yeah.
But the
He's
person who
right.
has kids, say it's a man over there who had a 5-year-old. One day he didn't have kids. Now he has 5 year experience because he has kids, which means one day he used to be the guy with no kids.
Yeah, that's true.
So the other guy with no kids was a guy is a guy with no experience, but he'll figure it out.
Okay.
Children, you're talking about survival. Men are built to do whatever to adapt to survive. That's who they are.
Mhm.
And they think in survival mode. They're not going to leave. A decent man is not going. If a man is taking care of his own self and willing to take care of his woman, he's not going to leave his kids out to stray. That doesn't happen.
That's a good point.
That's that's a great point. Again, high level conversations. We got the great version of Dusto this time. He's not really trolling. He's giving some facts out. That's man. Okay.
But I know y'all crunch for time. That's all I got. The men are in the gym.
I
Please
love
get
this
these.
too.
Please get these women in there.
Oh
Oh,
my
Because we
goodness,
asked them
gym
and they
is
said
the
no.
Lifetime Fitness 24 was.
Just throw them in. Just a gym. Just tell them stand outside and walk in circles. Something. This is
All
out
right,
of
to the
control.
gym it is.
But
I know.
good night, y'all.
Good
Thanks.
night.
Okay, we're going to end it on that note. This was a great conversation because, again, what did we learn here? Well, number one, I already knew this, but we saw prime examples that being a single mom is not a death sentence. You can still have a relationship. You can still look for marriage. You just have to understand where you're at in the process, or what you need to focus in on. Because again, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless. Okay, 3 out of 4 is what the average man is looking for. What 4 attributes out of those 6 that you need to have? That's going to depend on the guy. So you got to get to know him. Are there guys out there who are, because you have a child, that's an instant deal breaker for them? Absolutely. But it's not every guy though. So, you just gotta have to work it out. If I was giving my daughter advice on that, I would say, yeah, you need to bring up I would say bring up the kids as soon as possible. It may not be the first date conversation, but yeah, by the second date, absolutely. Because again, if a man's not going to marry you, how much time are you willing to waste on him if you want to be married? And men who that is a deal breaker for, it doesn't matter if both of you are looking to get married. If that's his deal breaker, don't waste any more time trying to change him. We have too much of that going on right now. Because again, even if you make it down the aisle, that resentment's always going to be in the back of his mind. You're just gonna have to, and we know what's gonna happen with that. It's gonna fester, and y'all gonna end up breaking the family. And now you've got 2 broken families, and that is not. You just no, don't do it. All right. So look again, man. We might have to come back for Lucky because I noticed that she after this stream she has another one where she talks about single dads. So leave a comment or leave a comment if you guys want to explore it. I'm probably gonna do it anyway, to be honest, because this was a great conversation. So yeah, I'm gonna say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video, but do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.